You could be in New York, Barcelona, Kazakhstan, or DC, and you can find an Irish pub. And if there's something comforting about how similar they all are, it's probably because a lot of these bars, in fact more than 2,000 of them across 53 countries, come from one man, Mel McNally, and his business, the Irish Pub Company of Dublin, Ireland. It all started when Mel McNally was just a baby, and his parents would take him down to the local pub. Mel pretty much grew up in pubs, but he didn't really give them that much serious thought until he was older. It's the 1970s, and Mel's in architecture school, and he and his classmates had to come up with an idea for their final project. So they decided to do something a lot of us have done. They decided, we should write our paper on something we already know a ton about. Pubs. And their teacher was like, really? Pubs? And they were like, Irish pubs? They hit all the famous pubs in Dublin. And it was kind of a scam at first, but they wound up taking it really seriously. They brought along their sketch pads and their tape measures. They looked at the craftsmanship and the artwork. They felt the distressed floors. They analysed the mouthfeel of the Guinness. They debated the stained glass work, and they distilled their research into 3 unspoken rules that all good pubs obey. Rule number 1. You should be able to see the bar as soon as you walk in, and then from almost any place in the pub, except the toilet. Rule number 2. Define your style. All good pubs belong to one or a mix of 6 Irish pub categories: modern gastro, brewery, shop, country, Celtic, and Victorian. And rule number 3. Balance privacy with room for gathering. You'd have these tiny little rooms called snugs to fit just a few people at a time, give them some privacy while they're having a drink, or a bad date. Even the long bar would usually be broken up into segments, but then they all flow into a central area where people can mingle and slosh beer on each other. In effect, these design things, they're the structure of a good night at the pub. This is what makes Irish pubs so special. Mel had cracked the code. He and his friends wrote up the report, and they aced the project. And when he graduated, Mel realised that he was now probably the #1 expert in Irish pub design. Now, Ireland already had quite enough pubs, but over the years he started to think that the rest of the world maybe didn't. So Mel began to get on some planes. Wherever some eager entrepreneur wanted to open a traditional Irish pub, Mel would go there and show them how it's done in Dublin. Soon he was selling his designs and all the parts you needed to build an Irish pub from scratch. He'd send entire pubs around the world, ready to assemble in giant shipping containers. It may sound kind of crazy, but the business took off. And he came up with a really clever way to make sure that no one could just replicate his designs cheaply in some factory. He convinced pub owners around the world that in order to build a truly authentic pub, you had to buy everything from Ireland, right down to the bric-a-brac. The lights, the chairs, the curtains, the man who won't stop talking to you. They'd all come pre-packaged and ready to assemble from Mel McNally. And in the interests of full Irish employment, he highly recommends an Irish bartender and a real Irishman to help you get it all up and running.